Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the People's Champion, your host, the Hut. Welcome back to the Baseball Hut, and hopefully like this video and hit that subscribe. This is going to be a fun video, because I get to make fun of somebody. I get to roast somebody, that is my wheelhouse here. My wheelhouse here at the Baseball Hut. As you know, our New York Mets have not been playing well. We know that. They're 3-13, I believe. Is the number? They're 12 games or 11 games over 500. They have the first wild card spot. The sky is falling. But this is a pattern of this team. We've seen this for many years, but people sort of forget that. Remember, folks, the Mets lost the first 5 games of the season last year, and the sky was falling. The Mets had a horrible May last year. The sky was falling. And they were able to come back. But the pattern of sort of the inconsistencies of this group continues. And this has been going on since 2021. We'll go post-pandemic. In 2021, the Mets struggled offensively, but they had a great pitcher with Jacob DeGrom, and he had a great first half. Prior to the first half of the season, he got hurt right before the All-Star break. And then after the All-Star break, the Mets lost Francisco Lindor when the Mets, of course, played in Pittsburgh. I will say this about the Mets spending time getting swept in Pittsburgh. Nobody got hurt this time. Because usually there's always injuries when the Mets go to Pittsburgh for some weird reason. And the Mets have not played well in Pittsburgh for a long time. So it didn't surprise me they got swept. And the Pirates are playing well. Give them credit. They've been playing well since they fired that manager they had. So that guy's probably going to get the job. He's done a good job there. But anyway, somebody need to give credit to the team. The opponents. The one thing that's crazy is that Mets fans, I don't know if this is sports fans, but Mets fans in particular, they trying to find all kinds of reasons for things that happen, either a positive thing or a negative thing, and the players are never responsible. Be that as it may. So in 21, we saw this team have a bad August. I know some people have Swiss cheese memories. I do a lot of times. But not when it comes to this. August, they had a brutal August. September was much better. A lot of it to do with Lindor not being there and DeGrom not being there. In 2022, they did not have a great September. And the last 10 games of the season was a disaster. And the wild card was a disaster too. Then in 2023, the May of all Mays, May Day. May of 2023 was probably one of the worst Mays in the history of this ball club. Maybe the 4th worst, the 5th worst. And the Mets season was kaput. They dug themselves such a deep hole. They couldn't get out of it. And it basically set the stage for Buck Showalter to get fired. Because he didn't know what the hell was going on here. And then last year, obviously, June. Now, I would mention, I saw this thing on X. I guess Ron Darling was on MLB Network. He mentioned how the Mets started the season 21-9. And since that start, they have 1 game under 500. That I did not know. However, they did get over 21 games over 500 before this streak started. So they were they kind of was dragging along. Then they went back up, and then they've gone down. But this is the inconsistency of this team. I had hoped that bringing in Juan Soto would help that, but clearly there are issues here, and some of the issues have to do with that are kind of young player related. Obviously, Francisco Alvarez did not hit when he's supposed to. So from what I understand, he's gone back to AAA, as you know, and he's taken back his hitting stance. Okay, he's got his old hitting stance back, which is good. And we know that Mark Vientos is not hitting. His approach has been terrible. He's got to get his head out of his ass. He's got to hit the ball the opposite field, hit the ball up the middle. Try to make contact. He does that, the ball go out. Once he figures that out, he'll be fine. Now, the fans, and those are the 2 biggest reasons. We know the pitching's going to get better because guys are going to come back off the injured list. Manaya's going to come back in here. Senga's going to come back. And I do expect that David Stearns will be making moves. There were all kinds of rumors before Devers got moved that the Mets were looking at him with the Red Sox. I expect him to make moves. I really do. I don't think he's going to be like he was last year, picking up pieces on the fringes. I think he's going to be picking up better pieces than what he picked up last year. And the Mets need a little bit of energy, and I think Jesse Winker coming back will help too. I want to talk a lot in this video, and that is the negativity. Again, the negativity of the fans online, the negativity of people that I've interacted with, believe it or not, over the years, coming into my live streams and stuff. And of course, we know the apex of it is Frank Fleming pulling his, taking his glasses off, chewing on the glasses, drooling. He's just a disgusting individual. Even with all the weight that he's lost, he's still a disgusting human being, in my opinion. Everybody makes a remember something. If the media is highlighting a particular personality, be careful. Okay, people need to wake up to this, and this certainly goes on in sports. Okay, there's something seriously wrong with that guy, and obviously being paid by. Did you see that Dave Portnoy got slapped in the face with pizza? I don't know if that was him, but if it was him, that's pretty damn funny. But after the loss on, after the loss on Saturday, I posted this on X. You see right here. This is a disaster of a start for the Mets and David Peterson. And obviously, David Peterson had a terrible start. I think it's Friday. Mets need length, and they've been needing length for quite a few weeks. Pathetic. Now, somebody wrote to me, and I have never had him write to me on X or it used to be Twitter. And that's Hayden Jarisarak. And he's a Mets fan, supposedly. I know that he's always on that Mets talk with that Potato Rob. I know that he's always in these X spaces with other Mets fans. But he wrote this, and he says, the Mets collapse, David Stern's edition. So I wrote a couple things to him. I wrote him directly. I said, are you begging that to happen? Too many Mets fans have to stop feeling sorry for themselves and waiting for the sky to fall. And I think a lot of Mets fans do that. And there's no reason to. This team proved last year that they can dig themselves out of a hole. And this is not a big hole. This is not a big hole at all. And then I highlighted it and I said, here's an example of a Mets fan waiting or begging the team to lose to fill some self-fulfilling prophecy. I don't know the purpose behind this insanity. Steve Cohen has done a lot to erase the negativity, but it's still there. Now, he wrote back to me. I barely had a chance to read it. Folks. And I think he wrote that it was just an observation, but he makes all these kinds of observations. And he blocked me. I was like, what was he blocking me for? Now, I don't care if somebody blocked me, I don't give a shit. But I thought it was interesting because he'd always come into the live stream, said hello in the chat, always very pleasant. So to him, what a pussy. I hate using that word, but what a baby. Can't handle that. And this is mild criticism, mild on my part. Really, very mild. And he basically crawled up, in a field position. I don't know what it is. Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he thought I was gonna make fun of him. Well, I wasn't gonna make fun of him then. Gonna make fun of him now. Then he looked like a platypus. He looks like a platypus to me. I got a picture from here. He reminds me of a platypus. Beady little eyes. Bit of a duck bill for a mouth. I wonder if he's got like a beaver's tail. You know that Robin Williams joke that God was high on something, and he just threw a duck and a beaver together. But maybe that's why he's so angry. Maybe. But then I started going through some of his feed. Now I have another account. Now after the loss on Sunday, this came across on my other account. When the Mets lost, he posted this, and this is just a weird guy. The summer of sell. So he wants the team to trade the players that aren't performing. What value are you going to get for them? They had 2 bad weeks in a season. Every team has that. So he's already given up. He's already thrown in the towel. Pathetic. What a pathetic little loser. What a sad state of affairs. And the state of Mets fandom. And that's the problem with online stuff, is the negativity draws all this attention when this is not nearly what the reality is. Okay, I don't see. I'm going to say this. I'm an old school kind of baseball fan. I don't believe all these statistics about it. It's all bullshit. Because baseball's been around for 150 years. It's still the same game. Even though they tried to change it, it's still the same. So I look at patterns. I don't look at, well, this guy's doing this. No. This is the pattern of this Mets team, is that they go through these stretches where they look terrible. Like I mentioned last year, they lost the first 5 games of the season. They're on their way to lose the 6th game of that season. It was Pete Alonso hitting a home run late in the game. And then they won extra innings. And they had a terrible May, and they turned it around. And had a big second half. And they were the best team in baseball up until 2 weeks ago for the past calendar year. Think about this. The Mets have had the best record for the past calendar year. And assholes like Hayden and a whole bunch of these other people are so quick to throw in the towel and give up. Lay down. If there were so many battles in war where you were losing, history would be so much different with people like this leading. Thankfully, he's just a little peon. He's nothing in comparison to some of the other big mouths online like Joe from Clark and Frank Fleming and dopes at WFAN that don't know anything. So that Brandon Tierney, the AKA the Coconut Head, was saying that Mendoza doesn't look right. There's something wrong. Yeah, when you lose all these games, you're not going to look great. You're not going to look good. He's beside himself and had to kick them in the ass. But they will turn it around because that is the pattern of this New York Mets team. It's not New York Mets teams of the past. This Mets team will go on a run. They will go back on that run. But you have to be patient. And I want to say this. I said this in other videos and other channels. And I expect this to go on another 2 weeks. I also was on Facebook. I would mention people on Facebook are beside themselves. They want to see Mendoza fired after 2 bad weeks, folks. After 2 weeks that are bad, they want him fired. So that would mean the Mets would have 6 managers in the last 6 years, and the last 3 managers would have been managers for 2 seasons. You can't run an organization like that. You guys got to stop. And if you're watching this video, you guys got to stop giving up. Stop giving up. You give up. You motherfuckers stop giving up. Okay? You guys are a disgrace. Stop giving up on this team. It is pathetic. That's not how men act. That's not how adults act. Stop giving up. And Hayden's, he's not a man. He's not a man. You know, I could do my impression. This is Fanook down in Florida, wherever the hell he is. You know, crying about the Mets, summer of sell. F you. If you don't like the Mets, I will say this, Hayden, and not the Bills. You want to talk about choking? The Bills are known for choking. Scott Norwood, by the way, was a Bill. So, just leave it there. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Use a Chris Russoism. Well, hope you had a good laugh. I know I had a good laugh. Whenever I get to goof on somebody, talk about somebody, I have a good laugh. And this guy deserves it, from what I understand. He's not the nicest guy, from what I understand. Don't let the platypus face fool you. From what I understand, he's a bit of a jerk. And then screaming and all these different, hey, you shouldn't have blocked me. This is what happens. It's the same thing I did when Frank Fleming blocked me. And again, I'll say this to Frank Fleming if he's watching. I will throw out the first pitch at Citi Field before he will. Well, thank you for watching this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut, and I'll see you later.